Hey y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Saturday, August 17th, 2024, and this is episode 66. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative, the number one, the actual numeric number one. If you're new here, I appreciate you checking me out. If you are returning, I appreciate you coming back. If you watched the last episode, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Excuse me. I'll try to make a long story short. It's not really that long of a story, but anyway, I had edited the video. If you didn't watch the last episode, the problem was with the pictures and them being in the right place, and there were some pictures missing. I had edited the video and it was processing or producing the video, as my software calls it, and we had a storm come through and the power flickered, which not only stopped the processing, just like got rid of whatever everything it had done. I mean, processing wise, I had the edited file saved. What I didn't realize though, my software that I use, so whenever I show you progress pictures, I then upload those to a Dropbox file, and the ones I just showed you, and then I delete the ones that were from last time after I've edited the video and pulled those into my software. Well, my software says it's importing those files, which to me means it's making a copy and putting it in that file. Apparently, importing in my software does not literally make a copy. It's still going back and pulling it from where I had it located. So what happened is normally when my video starts processing, I go ahead and upload my new pictures to my file so I have them for next time and get rid of the old ones, blah, blah, blah. Well, when the producing stopped and I had to start over, I had deleted the progress pictures from last time, unless they were projects that I had not worked on since 2023. I still had those because I have a separate folder that's like all my projects as they stood at the end of 2023. So anyway, so those photos were gone. So I had to go in and delete them from the video. And then I compounded the problem by apparently choosing the wrong option to delete them from the video, which basically meant everywhere I removed a picture, the pictures that came after it moved a little bit further up in the video. So if you watched the last video, and I didn't realize that second thing until well after I had uploaded the video and it was out there and I was just done at that point. So if you watched the last video, I apologize if like pictures were showing up in what appeared to be total random places way too soon. I learned a lot about the way my software works. And I learned not to delete those progress pictures until my video is completely produced. So going forward, hopefully we will not have that issue. So if the last video that you watched was a little hinky on the photos, I apologize for that. Hearsay. Tropical storm, what it ended up being Tropical Storm Debbie, came through a lot of rain. I was up actually in the DC area at North Meets South. Here where I live, there was a lot of rain. There were a lot of trees down in our area. We fortunately did not have any come down. In DC at North Meets South, the hotel we were at was having a few issues. North Meets South was great. I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video as far as haul and a few little Stitchy kindness things that I got. Amy and Memory from Barefoot Needle Art and Pam and Kevin from Stitch New England did a great job. None of the issues were their fault. The hotel had some structural and HVAC issues going on. Our stitching room was either like meat locker freezing or sweltering until Friday night when I wasn't actually in the room. I was actually up in the lobby with Pam and Kevin and Pam's parents having a drink when I'm not sure exactly how Kevin was alerted. I think text or phone call or something, that something had happened in the Stitchy room, and he and Pam went down there. Pam's father and I set up to settle our bar bill, and by the time I got done, apparently there had been kind of I don't think it was a literal explosion, but there was some kind of boom of some sort, and some stuff came down from the ceiling, and I don't know that we have been told exactly what happened. We're theorizing the HVAC system was having an issue, which is why we were hot or freezing. And there had been some leakage in another part of the hotel earlier in the day, ceiling wise, and I think probably there's some water got in and exaggerated the HVAC issues that were already occurring. Anyway, like I said, that none of that was the organizer's fault. But we got end result was we got moved to a different Stitchy room, which was high up in another tower and had a great view. So Saturday and Sunday morning we were in a great location. But other than those issues, we had a great time. Had fun hanging out with Amy and Memory and Pam, who I had met before, some other people I had met before, Jennifer, saw Lori and Kylie again, Angela, who I had briefly met but not really spent a lot of time with, so I got to know her a little bit better, and met some new people, Barbara and Debbie and Janet. Sorry if I'm, and met LaDonna and Robin. I'm not naming everybody, I'm sure, but had a great time meeting new people, hanging out with existing friends. We ate dinner one night. The hotel we were at had a revolving restaurant on top. We were right near the Pentagon, so the revolving restaurant, you could see like DC and the Pentagon and the Potomac, and we ate dinner up there one night, and that was nice. Other than that, otherwise, mostly ate in the hotel. There was a Whole Foods nearby, so I got there Wednesday. The event started at like lunchtime Thursday. So Wednesday, I walked over to Whole Foods and got some snacks and fruit and some sandwich meat and sourdough bread. And so most days, I ate breakfast and lunch in my hotel room. And then I ate dinner in the hotel. The food in the hotel was actually very good. They just had some, apparently they ate like Thursday, so Wednesday night, there was an Air Force chaplains conference that was having a big banquet or something, and apparently Thursday morning when some people went for breakfast, they were like out of food. So I don't know if the chaplains conference just wiped them out, they didn't get deliveries or what, but there were apparently some food supply issues. And a couple of times when I went to the little store snack bar thing where you could get like coffees and stuff, like I wanted a cafe mocha, well, we're out of chocolate for mochas. The hotel had some issues, but again, like I said, none of those were the organizer's fault, the event organizer's fault, and we still had a great time, even though there were some obstacles to surmount. And I know that the organizers were a little frustrated at some of the issues that were just out of their control. But that being said, it was a great event. I think Amy and Memory yesterday on their live said that they're not going to go back to the DC area. I think in part because of that, but also they decided that having something kind of that far from home was a little bit too hard to plan. And so they're looking at some other options for future events, and we'll see what they do. But anyway, so that's a long rambling hearsay. That's about it. I'm back at work and things are just normal. So let's move on. Let's move on to verdicts. I do have one verdict. I consider this kind of a North meets South finish, although I technically did not really get it totally completed until I got back. So Saturday night, I pulled out a project that you had seen the last time I worked on this for Stitch the Olympics. I said I'm probably going to leave this out and see if I can get it finished. And this is A Day for Freedom, which is by Stitches by Ethel. I finished all of the stitching on this Saturday night at North meets South, like 3 minutes before midnight. Thank you to LaDonna for hanging out with me in the Stitchy room. The organizers were exhausted, and I had told, the hotel had agreed to lock up the room, but I told Kevin and Pam that I would just I'm a night owl, that I would hang out in the room till pretty much everybody was gone that night, so that, if there was an issue, they had somebody that could contact them. And so I decided to pull this out, and about 11:30, most everybody else was packing up, and I was like, I'm so close. I can get this finished. So LaDonna wandered around a bit and went and did something and came back and checked on me and basically hung out with me until right before midnight, when I finished all the stitching except for the little bit of back stitching around right at his collar and that wand, and the Smyrna stitches that are at the top of his wand and up at the top here. So, and sewing on the buttons. So when I got home, I did that little bit of back stitching, the couple of Smyrna stitches, and sewed the buttons on. But I'm considering this a North Meet South finish. So this is on 28 count Lugana. I believe the color is mushroom, but I'm not 100% sure about that. That might not be completely accurate. So not sure if I'm going to turn that into a pillow or stand up, one or the other, probably. I started that, and I started that May 10th of this year. It was one of my mania starts. So, moving on to quarters in session, and I just realized that I did not bring my sock. I was going to show you the socks I'm working on that I showed you last time I'd started. I've gotten a little bit further, but I forgot to bring them in here, so I'm not going to go get them. They're this long now instead of this long. So next time I'll show you, and I don't think I haven't quite fully finished a full repeat of the stripes of colors. So by next time I should, and I'll be able to show them to you. The other knitting project that I've been working on, let me see if I can get this without knocking over the rest of it, is I started the Litmus Cow by Jude Harper for my youngest niece. I showed you last time that I had finished one of the like red, white, black, and gray ones that I'm doing for my two older nieces. And I switched to the one for my youngest niece, which I'm doing in like greens and yellows. And so this is as far as I've gotten. I think I'm on color 7, so I haven't quite gotten through the full stripe repeat yet. Her high school, she is a freshman in high school this year. Her high school colors are green and gold. This is a mini skein set from Robin's Promise called Luck of the Irish. And so like I said, I've got this stripe and 3 more colors to go up here, and then I'll repeat those 5 times like I did on the red, white, and green one. This is a pattern by Jude Harper. I may have said that already. I'm knitting these on US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. And I just do 11 rows of each color of stripe and go on to the next one. I did work on that a little bit last night because I went to my local knitting group occasionally meets on Fridays. And I don't usually go because normally if we're busy, if I'm at work all 5 days of the week, by Friday I just want to go home on Friday night. And when we're allowed to work from home, I work from home most Fridays. But this week, because I was out of town through Sunday, I worked from home Monday and Tuesday, so I could like get laundry and stuff done while I was working. I could go back and forth to the washing machine. And so I was in Raleigh yesterday, and I said, well, I'll go. And it ended up actually only being me and Beth. But we had a good time chatting, and we met at a new place. It's not new to Cary, but it was a new meeting place for us. It's in Cary. It's called, I don't know how you pronounce it, Brecotea, Brecotea. It's like a pastry, coffee, ice cream place. It's right next to Goodberry's on Kildare Farm if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area. But I had seen it, but I had never been there, and Beth had been there recently and liked it. So it was nice. We had a nice pastry and some coffee, and sat and chatted and knitted for a couple hours. But anyway, so let's get on to the stitching. As I showed you last time, I was stitching the Summer Olympics, and last time I showed you days 1 through 8, and so now I'm going to show you starting with day 9 the rest of what I did. I did successfully complete Stitch the Summer Olympics. This was come up with by the Naptime Stitcher on Instagram. She had a prompt for each day. My personal goal for it was to stitch at least 200 stitches, but hopefully at least 500 stitches on each project. I did get to 500 stitches on every project except one, I think. And that was one project I worked on at North Meet South, and I'll talk about that why I didn't do more when I get there. So anyway, day 9 was, and I'm abbreviating these prompts kind of the way I did. They were a little bit If you want to see what the full prompts were, go to look at the Naptime Stitcher on Instagram and go back a few weeks and you can see the prompts. Day 9 was something with rows or borders. This is in, I don't remember who did this bag. I think, oh, this is a Lynx Stitch Creates bag from when she was doing a quarterly bag. This is, I'm rambling today. If you're new here, as I talk, I will put up a picture of what the project will look like when I finish, and also a picture of what it looked like the last time I showed it to you, hopefully. Let's hope we don't have picture issues this time. And then I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is Rejoice Evermore by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And this was a StitchCon start in 2022. I started this on June 10th, 2022. I am doing this on 40 count R&R Barb's Blend. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. And this is where I am. I did 555 stitches. And I am currently at 12.2% on that. So I had done this, most of this up here, and started a little bit of satin stitch. I did a little more satin stitch, and then I carried this part of the border down and did this down there. So got a little bit more done on that. Don't get stuck. Day 10 was something with a house or a building. And I chose, this is in another Lynx Stitch Creates bag. I think this is one that I just bought. This is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. I started this on May 21st of 2022. I'm doing this on the called for 30 count Legacy Parisian Gray with the called for floss. And here's where I am. I did 507 stitches on this. I'm currently at 10.7%. So I did a little more roof, I think. Did a little bit more brick work. Brought down some of that side, blocking out the brickwork, I think. That roof is no joke. It's like 2 shades of brown, and I'm going to put that in front of that. The thing about vinyl project bags is you have to think about what's up against the vinyl. Let's see. Day 11 was something from your favorite designer. Now, I don't have a single favorite designer, but I chose one of my favorite designers, which is the Blue Flower. This is in a bag made by Barefoot Needle Arts. It's one of the envelope bags. And I took some thread and made a little loop that I can hook I do these, like keychain things to label my projects, because I have so many projects, so I can figure out what's what. So for this one, I chose the Blue Flower, and I chose Night Walk Down, which I started on August 11th of 2023. I am doing this on 40 count Fox and Rabbit oyster shell. And I did 545 stitches on this. And I'm currently at 6.3%. So I worked a little bit more on the border up top. I finished out the word night. Started on those flowers. Just kind of randomly worked around. Sorry, I have to get these back in here or else. Next up was something with an animal. And so one of the things I tried to do on the days that once August started, the other days, is I tried to incorporate both my Whip Go projects and my goal pieces for the month into at least one of the days. So I got some progress on them while doing Stitch the Olympics. So this one is in this bag that I bought from Vintage Owl Lady. And this is a peacock, a unicorn, a badger by the Scarlet House. This is one of my Whip Go calls for the month. I started this on April 29th of 2023. I did not do all this on the one day, but I have worked on this some more since I worked on it Stitch for the Summer Olympics. So far I have done 1,135 stitches on this month. My Whip Go goal is 10 hours. I think I'm at about 4.5 hours on this. I'm currently at 3.6%. I'm doing this on 40 count Atomic Ranch Mellow Stone. So I did like the outline of that peacock. I think I outlined that leaf below the bird that's not filled in. I started filling in those flowers that are kind of peachy, pinkish. So I've got about 5.5 more hours on this. This is a full coverage piece. I did do a little bit more of that green background fill in. I know some people are stitching this on a darker green fabric. I am doing the fill in because one of the things I like about this pattern is it's very tapestry looking. And to me, part of that is having the whole thing stitched. So while it's going to be a very long project, and that's also one of the reasons I'm doing it on the 40 count instead of like say a 25 count easy grid, is because I will probably do it as a soft finish where a little bit of that fabric shows, and I wanted something that was more antique-y, oldie looking behind it for what little bit shows. So that's why I did it on 40 count instead of like a 25 count easy grid. But I am doing it 1/2. I haven't said all that, but the things that I've worked on 40 count are 1/2. The Kringles that's on 30 count is 2/2. I tend to 32 count and below is always 2/2. 40 count and above, or 8 equivalent, is 1/2. 36 count is either or, depending on the project for me. Okay, next up, day 13 was a stitch along or a pattern recommended to you by another stitcher. I pulled out one of the stitch alongs that I have started but not finished. This one is just in a Amazon bag. I've got some extra bags now. I need to move it into one of those. This is the Schoolhouse Rock Stitch Along by the Black Needle Society. I started this September 3rd of last year, and I'm doing it on 36 count Bestitch Me in the colorway Ocean Blue. This is a beautiful, I love this fabric. Let me fold it in half so you can see. So that's where I am. This pattern started from the bottom up, so that's the way I'm working on this one. I did 547 stitches on this. I did them mostly over in here. Filled a lot of this in and stuff. I think I came up here and started some of that. And I'm currently at 32.5% on this. I would like to get this one done, so it's not going to happen this year, but I need to come up with a plan for it to get done sooner rather than later. I'm thinking about next year's Whip Go already, and I haven't decided for sure. It's tangent, but I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting like 24 or 25 projects on there, I'm going to pick probably 5 projects and put them on there like 5 times each with like say 1,000 stitch goals or something. I don't know what the goals will be yet. And try to pick like say 5 projects that I really want to make more progress on next year. Day 14 was something you can't wait to stitch on. This is in a Halloween bag, by Creative Carol Designs. And this is my Halloween Quaker, which is my quarterly Halloween project for this quarter. It has, I don't know if I can show you without taking everything out, like the graveyard scene inside. Sorry, I got a nose itch. I started this June 30th of 2021. And this is on 40 count Fiber on a Whim heather. And I did, my current goal this quarter is to do 1,000 stitches a month on this for the 3 months of the quarter. And I worked on this, I did the entire 1,000, I did 1,024 stitches on this when I pulled it out. And I worked down in that little scene on the bottom where the cat, I did all the way over to the cat and filled in some of those colors and got some stuff outlined. So that's where I was working. And I am currently at 45.1% on this. So this is another project that is in consideration, maybe if I do that Whipco next year, to be one to really put some effort into. We'll see. Day 15 was Stitch Towards a Goal. And so I chose my other Whipco project for the month, which is in this Lynn X Stitch Creates bag, which is Snow Queen by Mirabilia. I started this on May 30th, 2021. I'm doing it on the called for 32 count Witchelt in Twilight, and I really need to sew the edges of this fabric. I think I did it with Fray Check back then. Sorry, I started in the middle on this one, so I got to get a way to show you. This is the one that I did not get at least 500 stitches on. I was stitching this at North Meet South. I decided the night before I was going to be stitching on it to pull it into Markup RXP, but I didn't really have time to get it fully set up. So at that time, so I've gone back now and gotten it fully set up, but what I did, because it was the easiest to do with as much as I had set up at that point, is I just stitched white on that Saturday or Friday, whenever day I stitched on it. I think it was Friday that I stitched on it. So I worked, mostly I did white right in here, and I did, 321 stitches. And then I was tired of doing white. And I hadn't really set up to do any other colors yet in markup, so I just decided to put it away. I had met my minimum 200 goal, so I've done 19.9% on this according to markup, and I think I've got it fully set up now. I've done about 2 hours of my 10 for Whipco, so this will get some more work this month. I do not love Witchelt fabric. And in hindsight, this was the first Mirabilia I ever started. I wish I had done different fabric. I've seen some beautiful fabrics that are very wintry looking or pretty blue, but I'm not starting that over. So, day 16 was Stitch Something from a Series. And this is in the one Jasmine's custom bags that I have, that I've managed to snag off of Instagram. This is Woodland Santas by the Prairie Schooler, and I consider it a series because the pattern has 4 Santas in it. So to me, it's a series of Santas. I started this, December 7th of 2023. And I have only started one Santa. I've got a giant piece of fabric because I'm going to stitch all 4 on this one piece of fabric, although this fabric's probably bigger than I need, but I'm going to wait until they're all 4 stitched, and then they will get finished somehow together. I saw this with the year I went to StitchCon in Keepsakes, and they had it done in like one of the like window frames, 4 pane window frames with each Santa and window frame. And it was beautiful, and I loved it, and that's when I bought it. So this is where I am. This is 32 counts of Weigart in the platinum colorway. I did 597 stitches. I don't have a percentage on this because I have only set up so far this Santa and markup as far as marking the grid and the stitch count. I want to say I should have looked, but I think I'm like 30% on this Santa, but not on the whole project. And then the last day of Stitch the Summer Olympics, the closing ceremonies, was Stitch Something New, planned to finish in 2024. And this is in a Creative Carol Designs bag, patriotic. This is my One Nation by Bygone Stitches, which is the pattern that I broke up into 12 and plan to finish by the end of the year. And as I've mentioned before, I told you as I get closer to the end, I probably will not go exactly by my breakup. This is where it stands. I am on the last 3 rows, so this row and a red row below it. And what I did, I have a scan of this that's not the greatest. So I had not pulled it into Markup RXP. Sorry, my needle was coming out of the selvage edge. But since I was on the last 3 rows, I decided to pull those pages in and spend the time marking it up so I could get an accurate stitch count of how much I had left to stitch. And I had just under 6,000 stitches left to do and 5 months to do it. So I need to do about 1,200 stitches a month. So what I've done this time is those bottom 2 rows as far over as you can see in a little bit of that red. I did 1,348 stitches, which is a little over what I have to do minimum. My plan, I didn't do all that on the last day of the Summer Olympics. I haven't worked on it more since then, but my plan is to try to do more than 1,200 a month and hopefully finish this by the end of November, I think, so that I will be freed up in December to maybe do a little bit of catch up or some Christmas stitching or something. I started this January 22nd, 2021. It is on the 28 count, called for 28 count Picture This Plus Ale. So now that those last bits are in markup, it will probably go a lot faster, and hopefully I will get that done by the end of November, if not before. It depends on how motivated I get. And I'm doing that with all the called for floss, although in hindsight, I probably would have just used DMC had I been a little bit more experienced with hand-dyed flosses and realized that, no, I would have used the called for red and blue, but I would have used DMC for the white, is what I meant to say. So the other thing that I worked on at Stitch New England, I do not have, but I'm going to post some pictures. Pam from Stitch New England is working on a year at Hawker and Hollow, and she does a Hawker and Hollow Zoom each month that I try to participate in when I can. And she is on the last block of her year at Hawker and Hollow, and she's ready to have it done. So I had told her if she would bring it. Normally we would have done our Hawker and Hollow Zoom the Thursday night that we were at North Meet South, but obviously she didn't have the Zoom because she was at North Meet South. So I told her she would bring her Hawker and Hollow, that I would work on it some for her over the weekend because she was busy vending and running around and doing all that stuff. So she did, and she had done, I'll post a picture of where it was when she gave it to me. She had done the outline of the little mountain range and done the little trees and the word December in it. And so I filled in all the blue of that little mountain range for her, and I'll post another picture of what it looked like when I finished with it. And so I did 1,043 stitches on that for her, Friday and Saturday, I think. Mostly Friday, and then a little bit Saturday morning. So, and then next up is Kingdom of Books. This is in a Lynette Stitch Creates bag with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This is a kit that I bought from, it translates to Make It With Your Own Hands. I'm doing this on the kit fabric with kit floss, mostly 3 strands. I started this August 31st of 2016, approximately. I don't know if that date's exact right, but it was sometime around August, end of August 2016. So last time I recorded, I had stitched on this for Summer Olympics and done like 500 and some stitches. Since you last saw it, I have done another 765 stitches. So far, I've done a total of 1,310 stitches this month. My goal for this year is to do at least 2,000 stitches a month. So I've got about 700 more stitches I still need to do. I finished the top half of this book. I'm kind of working right here. There's a page break right here. Trying to fill most of this in, and then I'm going to move that up and I'll work down. I'm currently at 38.7% on this. And let me get that back in there right. Sorry, I'm trying to, the ones that I still need to work on need to go in a different place. And then the last thing that I have worked on is I am doing a round robin with most of my table mates from Queen City Stitch Retreat last year. Anne from Anne Craft All the Things, Debbie from Allen Gator Stitching, Jess from Stitches of Sass, and Sally, who does not have a floss tube but is on Instagram. We all picked a tiny town, and we are doing them round robin. So I have Jess's tiny town, which is Big Hearted Tiny Town, that I have done my portion on. And I'm getting ready to send that off to Anne, who will be the last person before it goes back to Jess. This is on 32 count Heartstone by Pole Stitches Designs, which is not a fabric dye I'm familiar with, but I like, it's pretty fabric. This is 2/2 on 32. I said 32 count. So I did these two houses, that heart up here, the little flag, the fence line there. So there's a little bit more for Anne to do, and then it will go back to Jess, totally finished. And that was 579 stitches that I did on that. I don't know what the percentage, because we're working from paper patterns on these. So, that's it for my stitching. On the docket, I need to finish my Whip Go goals for the month. Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger, I have about 5.5 more hours. Snow Queen, I still need to do about 8 hours, I think, on. Kingdom of Books, I've got about 700 more stitches. I still need to do 600 stitches on Anzac, which I usually do a little bit towards the end of the month. I am totally behind on my stitch a day. You did not see that. I have not worked on that the past 2 Sundays at least, I think. So I need to get caught up on that, because I don't want to get too far behind, because if I get too far behind, I will never finish that thing. So tomorrow I will probably work exclusively on that until either I am caught up or I run out of time. So hopefully I'll get caught up and work on something else, but we'll see. Once all that is done, I'm hoping to do a little bit of Arbitrary August, and for that, I have created a decisions wheel of all of the projects that I don't have on Whip Go or have other goals set already that I have not yet touched this year, so that I can try to get to at least a couple of those. On September 20th, I will be starting, I may have a new start before that. I don't know. I haven't decided. I have some new starts saved that I can start, but I just have been really working on stuff, so we'll see. There are a couple things I definitely do want to start. I still would like to get the Erica Michaels like quilt alphabet started, and I'm still debating when to start the Little House Needleworks Christmas cabin pattern thing. At some point I want to start that this year, but I haven't decided when. Anyway, but I had showed you last time in haul or stashing for retirement that I had bought this pattern by Carriage House Samplings, Nature's Peace, which is a 2020 pattern I had never seen till I saw somebody show it on FlossTube. And I'm not sure who, but anyway, after I showed that, Beth from the Steadfast Stitcher messaged me and said she had this pattern and wanted to know if I wanted to do a stitch along. I told you last time that I was considering this being my start for our out west trip in September, and so we've decided to do a stitch along. We are going to start this on Friday, September 20th. I am going to start it on the plane on our way out west, because that's the only time that I know I will have time to stitch on it. I will try to stitch on it a little bit more while I'm out there, but I don't expect to get a ton of stitching done. But I figure we've got 2 3-hour plane rides, so I should be able to get it started. So I pulled my floss and fabric. So there's the flosses. A lot of my DMC I used to keep on bobbins, and I've moved them for storage to floss drops, but some of them are still kinked up. And I am going to do it on 22 count Ada by Be Stitch Me in the scroll colorway. So I decided, since I would be starting this on a plane and we're stitching on travel, that Ada was the way to go. It's a similar color to what it calls for. And with 22 count, this will come out just over 4 by 6. So it's like, comes out at like 4 1/8 by, or 4 3/8 by 6 1/8, something like that. So it will fit easily in a little 5 by 7 frame if I want to frame it, or whatever I decide to do with it. And this is a Be Stitch Me Ada, so it is nice and soft. It's not hard and crunchy like a lot of Ada. Right now I have it in this Amazon bag, which is probably where it will stay until I get back from my trip, just because this will be easier and smaller to pack. And then when I get back, it will go into a prettier bag probably going forward. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't grab that. So that is a planned start for sure on September 20th. We haven't come up with a hashtag or anything, but if you want to join us, please do. Excuse me. And that's it for On the Docket. We'll go to stashing for retirement. Couple of online patterns, one of which is you can't get, but I'll show you anyway because it's kind of funny. The first one is, I told you North Meets South had some issues at the hotel. So Kylie Kite, who is one of the attendees, she did a little free chart for those of us that were there afterwards, that was shared in our Facebook group. And I'll put a picture of it here. And I don't have it in front of me, but it was like, it says something like the ceiling fell down, but we rose up or something. And it has like a north and a south. It's just cute. So, that was fun and funny for her to do that. And then also, so Nora Corbett has a Patreon. I do not belong to her Patreon, mainly because I'm trying to not spend tons of money. But one of the patterns that she released to her patrons a while back, like over a year ago, I did not find out about, and had I known it when it was available, I would have joined her Patreon solely to get this pattern. But I didn't find out about it till after the fact. And it was the Klimt tree. It was a tree designed in the style of Gustav Klimt, who is an artist. And I really like Gustav Klimt. So I have always kind of wished I had been a patron to get that. Recently, she has put that in her Patreon shop. You do not have to be a patron of her Patreon to purchase it. So if you go to Nora Corbett's Patreon, and I'm putting a picture up here of what it looks like, and I will, if I can find it, I took a picture of somebody's finished one at Queen City Stitch Treat last year. I just don't know if I still have it. If I do, I'll post a picture also of a, like, actual shot of one. Anyway, if you go to her Patreon and click shop, you can actually purchase that pattern. I think it's like $15, which to me is worth it. But, so I purchased that. And then I have some more stuff. Okay, before we get to the real, like, stashing for retirement, I'm going to do a couple of like Stitchy Kindness things that I got at North Meets South, and also a couple things I picked up off the freebie table, and then we'll get to the real stashing for retirement. In no particular order, and hopefully I'll remember. I think I can remember. There wasn't as much sharing with the table stuff this time, which it was fine. It's always nice when people have things to share. I didn't have my crap together this time to really have a lot to share. I took the few needle minders I had left and gave out a few of those, and a couple of floss tags, but I really just wasn't totally coordinated. Plus, I realized that the cards that I have that go with my floss tags have my Instagram name before I dropped the word podcast, and so I gave them, I had to tell people, anyway. But I did get a few bits of Stitchy Kindness from some other people. LaDonna gave me a cute little, it was in this purple bag, which I've flattened because I may cut that paper up and do something with it. Cute little pin cushion that has an elastic so you can like put it on your wrist. And also one of the pins is holding a little wooden handmade tag that you could put on a finished object. And a badge reel that has a little button on it. It's really cute, which I need to take to work because I rotate through my badge reels depending on what mood I'm in and what I feel like. So that was right up my alley. Had some hand sanitizer, and then there also was some candy in there, but I've already eaten that. So, Terry and Leslie from Maine gave us all little orc catchers, which were really cute. And I said I don't know if it was Terry or Leslie that came around. I think it was Terry that actually gave me this, that I said thank you to, but I didn't really get much chance to talk to Terry and Leslie. But thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Somebody gave us, I don't know who gave us this. She came around and she asked if we wanted a teardrop or a sand dollar. Sorry, let me take, and I took a teardrop. It's just a little needle minder, but I did not get the name of who gave us this. So it's real cute little sparkly needle minder. And now that I've showed it to you, I'm gonna stick it over here on my little cart so I don't lose it. We got in our goodie bag, sorry for the crinkle, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. We got a North Meets South needle minder, which I'm also gonna put on my cart. I don't really use needle minders a lot because I tend to use those magnet things to hold my extra fabric. Kelly Elizardo gave me some floss drops with some pretty flowers on them. I use floss drops. And Barbara Looney, who is at my table, gave me, it's in a little pretty bag, but I'm going to take it out so you can see it, a pair of scissors and some really cute little floss drops. I haven't actually opened those to see if they're all the same picture or not. They are. They're all the same picture. So, really cute. See if I can get these back in here. Nope, I'm not going to try. And then also in our North Meets South packet, we got a little notebook with a pen, which is real nice. It's got that, not rubbery feel, but you know what I'm talking about. And then there was a freebie table I picked up a few things from that I thought I would show you. I got a Heart and Hand We Celebrate from, put my glasses on to see the years on some of these. 2000. This is, I'm sorry, I was tilting it down too far. This is from 2000. And Bent Creek Snowbound, which is from 1998. Thought that was cute. If you're from North Carolina, you will know that the North Carolina toast is the here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. There is an order of the longleaf pine that you can get after 30 years of employment with the state, which is like the only thing that I want when I retire because I'm weird and geeky like that. Anyway, somebody had put, you can't, I'm holding it back for enough so you can't read it, but it's the North Carolina toast with like pine boughs around it. So I picked that up. This is called Four Seasons, and it has basically kind of this scene in Four Seasons in a big, and then 4 smaller ones. There's not a picture of all 4 of the big seasons in here. But you can see, like, there, I guess, is the spring one of the bigger one. These are the same as what I showed you on the back. Here's the bigger one of fall. So I guess there's not a big picture of the big one for summer. But anyway, I don't know if I'm probably not going to do all 4 of the big ones or whatever, but I figured there would be elements in there I might pull for some stuff. These are patterns by Erica Michaels that were apparently done in 2002 with Rainbow Gallery that I guess stores could give out, and they were Christmas patterns. So there is Noel, Roly Poly Nick, and these are all black and white, so you can't really see the colors, but they're largely done with Rainbow Gallery threads. Sampler Tree. I think that was the last one. Nope, one more. Night Flyer. And I think I may have shed a little bit of chart there, but hopefully it wasn't enough that anybody could copy from. And then last, I pick up this Seasoned with Love, which is mainly this pattern. Has this pattern, it has this pattern, but this is the pattern that I liked in it. And it shows you a couple of different ways you could do like the big pattern or use the little pattern. But this is from Holly Designs, from Judy Gibbs from Charlotte, North Carolina, 1989. So those were my freebies. Dashing for retirement. Of course, there was a vendor market at North Meet South. There were, I think, 8 or 10 vendors. I'm trying to count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there were 10. I'd have to double check. But anyway, I think I bought something from, but maybe one of them. Anyway, this was from the Noteworthy Needle. This is called Scaredy Pail. And these are little patterns that are designed to go like around the bottom of a little pail. I probably won't do it that way, but I thought that one was cute. Sorry for the glare. And I also bought, she had these like tombstones that are like cardboard. Now she had a little pattern that she would drill the holes for on this, but I wasn't sure that that was what I wanted to do on that. So I just bought this, and she told me how to drill the holes and cut out the back so you can stitch on it and all that. So, I don't know if I may just even end up mounting something on it as a finished, painting it, mounting something on it. I don't know. We'll see. But it was like $5 just like this without the holes drilled and stuff. So I thought it was cute. And then also from her, I got, for making, I guess, a certain purchase, all sorts of a little Ort tin. So that was the Noteworthy Needle. Michelle Inc., who does some really cool stuff with, what is it called? Something silver. Hold on a second. I think I have a, sorry for the crinkle. This is her card. It's clear, so. Artisan Fine Silver. It's like a clay that you shape and then you kiln it and it becomes silver. She had a class and I thought about taking it and I ended up not taking it, but and this of course is not the silver, but I bought this like needle bling from her because I thought it was really cute. And it has on the back a skull and crossbones. And does that say anything? No, it doesn't say anything. So I just thought that was cute, so I bought that from her. Let's see. From Barefoot Needle Art, I bought this pattern by Dirty Annie's called Deja Vu, a feeling that one has seen or heard this crap before. I might do those for two of my work besties for Christmas. That might be their little Christmas gift because that's kind of appropriate. I bought something else from Barefoot New Lark, but I'll get to that in a minute because it's buried at the moment. Let's see. Trey Chic Stitchery, which has actually changed their name to the Scissors, was there. And they had some really cool scissors. I taught myself how to buy them. They also had Saju threads and stuff. I did not buy any. She actually gave me a little sample of their cotton that I had planned to go back and kind of stitch with and decide, and then I kind of forgot about it, but I have a sample of that. But I did buy, they had some fabric that was hand painted from Painter's Threads, and I haven't even fully unwrapped this, but I'm going to do it right now. And I just loved the kind of Southwest vibe of this. So I have no idea what I'm going to do on it yet. I'm not even sure what count it is because it doesn't really say. No, 28 count. It does say 28 count. I just love the colors, and you know, I will have to find something Southwest looking to do on that, and figure out the right color to do on it where it will show up. I gotta keep that together. Oh, let's see. Silver Creek Samplers was there with all of her patterns, and I got a couple I had seen before that I just never bought, and one I had never seen before. It is from 2020. What year is that from? It doesn't say. It was from a few years ago, and I had never seen. 2017 is the date on the model. It's called Olivia Oakerleaf, and it's spelled, I'm going to put the way it's spelled across the screen because I have to show you chart to show you on here, and it'll probably be easier. But I thought it was really pretty. I had never seen that one before. It says, she wears a dress of scarlet red and orange leaves from overhead that sparkle with frosty glow, soon buried in a winter snow. And her husband told me that they talk about winter ochre leaf. They haven't done, she hasn't designed it yet. But they talk about it as if it's going to exist. And I told him, I said, well, if it were designed so that the winter were on this side of the fabric so that they could like bookend each other, that would be perfect. So we'll see if that happens or not. I also bought Founding Promises. Don't Quit Your Daydream. And Spruce It Up. So I got those from Silver Creek. Needlework with Jim and Hand Dyes by Jim was there. And I bought from him, I bought 1 Dozen Quakers by Rosewood Manor. This is a pattern that EJ from Sunshine Stitchers has been doing a stitch along with, and I haven't really wanted to do the stitch along, but I had never seen the pattern until, it's from 2012, until she started that. And I have kind of been on the lookout for it, but everybody's been out of stock with it. So they had it, and it was 40% off bonus. So I got that. And then I also got from him a piece of his hand-dyed fabric, which is 32 count Lugana. Does not have a name. Just a really pretty, I thought that would be really pretty for a Mirabelle or something. And I also won, you see this, I'll bring it over here in a minute. This, where my finger is, there's I won, he had like kind of a, if you purchased a certain amount, you got a raffle ticket to throw in the thing, and he had this little prize bin, and I won that, which I will bring over here in a minute to show you. I forgot to bring that over, but okay, let's see. Stitch New England, I bought so I bought 324. I had been debating this one, and I don't know when I'm going to start it. You know, maybe next year this might be my little weekly stitch or something. We'll see. Been debating this, but what sold me on it is I had never actually seen the pattern in person. Is when I flipped it over, because you know Arlene from Works by ABC always, she does a lot of things with history and stuff. She designed this based on an antique lace pattern that is a variety of laces. It's a 16th century lace cloth that's 60 by 60, and it's made with different styles of lace. Needle lace, bobbin lace, Riticella cut work. So if you've been following me since I originally started with knitting, you know that I love lace, and I'm kind of on a mission to learn all the forms of making lace. So I know how to knit lace. I know how to tat lace. I've learned a little bit about bobbin lace. I can crochet lace. There are other forms of lace I need to learn. But anyway, so that sold me on buying the pattern. I got number 6 of the Little House Needleworks log cabin Christmas thing. 7 has just come out. She had there some of the Kathy Barrick labels for your needlework, and I've looked at these online several times and never bought them, so I caved and bought them. What really talked me into it is Barbara was sitting at my table and she came back and she had bought them, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see those, so I went back and got them. She had some floss drops from Stitched Modern, and I got 2 sets of those, of the same ones to use on a project. And then I'm trying to build up my Gentle Arts stash, so usually when I order from her, I order 4 or 5 Gentle Arts, so I just grabbed another 6 Gentle Arts for my stash. And then I got this, sorry for the crinkle, this is still in the bag because I was trying to keep the floss together. So I bought this floss from Pam, because Atomic Ranch had a piece of fabric that I loved. And I saw it, when I first saw it, I saw the 40 count, and I was going to get the 40 count. Well, and I thought about it, because I was like, what am I going to stitch on it? Because it's darker fabric, and I didn't want to stitch white. And I went back the next day, and of course, they had sold the 40 count. But they did have the 32 count, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do it in 32 count, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm not 100% sold, but it's going to be something Halloween-y. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is do Halloween time. I'm going to show you the fabric in a minute. I'm getting there. I think I'm going to do Halloween Tiny Town and do all the houses in these 2 shades of orange, which one is a little bit more yellow than the other. And then like the trees and the gray, and I've got some purples to do. So this is the fabric. It is called Artemis. And it is plummy. There's some red. So we're going to see how it goes. I mean, who knows when I'm going to actually start it. But I figured I would do, when I thought it was going to be the 40 count, I was going to do Autumn Lane's Tonight We Ride and do orange and where all the black is. But I don't want to do a piece that big on 32 count. So, anyway, the fabric is beautiful. I will do something with this floss on it. I may come up with a better idea than the Tiny Towns. I'm going to keep the floss with the fabric, and we will figure that out when it comes time. And then I also bought, let's see, while we're on Atomic Ranch, I bought 32 count Lugana in Forget Me Not. That was 32 count linen. So this is like it's blue, but it's got a hint more purple than is showing up on my camera. 32 count Lugana in Bloop Bloop, which is perfect because it's like bubbles blooping. And 32 count Lugana in Serenity. Now, I know this is not going to show up on screen as pretty as it is. It is like this really light, really, really light, almost mint green with little hints of pink. I don't know if you can see the little hints of pink. It's beautiful, but it's very, very subtle, and it's just not really showing up on the camera. My friend Jennifer bought a piece one day, and I looked at it, and I went back the next day, and of course the higher counts are gone in that, so I did get it in the 32 count Lagana. And then I also got a piece of 36 count linen in lavender. So those were all Atomic Ranch. Oh, and also from Atomic Ranch, they're dyeing t-shirts, and it's not like I need any more t-shirts, but I was sitting there. So Mike is the dyer from Atomic Ranch. His mother was with him, and he had run off to do something, and she was kind of manning the booth. But I don't know if he didn't want her to, or she just wasn't comfortable. She wanted me to wait for him to get back to ring me up. And she was wearing one of his not tie-dyed, but one of his dyed t-shirts. And I was like, yeah, I like the t-shirts, but I really don't need any more t-shirts. I've got tons and tons of t-shirts. And then we're sitting there talking. I was like, but all my t-shirts have words on them. I just need some plain t-shirts. So I got this purple one. Because... and then Laura's Fabrics, RETM and Laura's Fabrics were there, and I got another piece of Brain Fog in 40 count from Laura's Fabrics. This is the color that I am doing my Anzac on, and I love it. And while I'm not going to take up the entire piece of that I have on my Anzac, it is going to use over half of it probably, so I wanted another piece. And then I bought some project bags. I got this one this is the other thing I got from Barefoot. She had dragonflies, and of course, Memory knows if she makes dragonfly bags, I will buy one. They have their emblem done with 3D printer, and they've got a label on the back. I think the inside is just the gray that's at the top. Yeah, that marbled gray that's at the top is what's inside. This one I bought from Trish Vine Designs. Yeah, it's quilted. It has like a front pocket, and then it has the zipper pocket. Oh, and I got a free like keychain wristband thing for buying one. And then I bought this one from Millennial Fabrics, just to have a, not really themed. It's fall colors, but it also could be just flowers. And then I also bought a piece of fabric from her. I forgot it was inside of here. So I got a piece of fat quarter 40 count linen in robin's egg. Now I will say her fabrics were quite a bit more expensive than I'm used to paying. I think it's largely because she's a newer dyer, and I believe she's probably not buying her fabric at wholesale yet, so hopefully she will find a wholesale. Her fabric was beautiful. It was just a little bit more expensive than some of the other fabrics available, so I only bought one piece of it. Hopefully she'll work out a wholesale purchasing and can get her prices a little bit more in line with what people are used to paying, because like I said, while her fabrics were beautiful, I did hear a couple comments about how expensive they were. And they're, while I'll spend money on cross stitch, there are some people that are a little bit more judicious about their spending. Anyway, I think that's it for stashing for retirement. I ended my video, and then I remembered I had not showed you this box that I won from Needlework with Jim. So I'm recording this now and inserting it in. This was in just, one of the cardboard kind of bin things. This was all pretty wrapped and decorated, but I've taken it apart. It had some pretty sunflowers, cute little fall gnome, which is great. That will actually go probably to my office because I have some seasonal gnomes. Little pumpkin with a sweater on it. And then it had a variety of like interesting fabrics in here. There was like, this is a Claustern stocking. It's 7 count, but it's like a Christmas stocking you could do. A table runner. These are all things you could stitch on. Had a couple of like pillow shams that you could stitch on. Some 14 count Ada that's hand dyed by Jim. A Zweigart Tannenbaum wall hanging, and this is white on white, but I don't know if you can see the Christmas themed, and there's like squares you can stitch like a Christmas wall hanging in. And I have a couple ideas for that one. A piece of 28 count Zweigart lion linen. That would make I'm not sure what what I would do with that. I'll have to think about that. And then there were a couple of kind of older books, cross stitching on linen, favorite flowers, bunch of patterns for flowers. I was going to look and see if I could show any. Oh, there's a pretty dragonfly. Like violas and dragonflies. So nothing that, I don't think I would do any of these like exactly as designed, like the patterns as designed. They're a little outdated, but I might actually pull, you know, elements from them and do smiles or things. So, and then needlework ideas for Ada and linen bands. Whoops. Has some really cute, like Stitchy themed. I'm sorry, I made a pile here and now I can't get to my camera. Stitchy themed things. There's like teacup bands and stuff on the back. That's pretty, red and blue bands. So again, I'm not sure how much I would, there's animals, not sure. It's more designed to be, there's some alphabets and some kind of geometric patterns. Easy See, Easy Stitch, cross stitch 45 designs with larger charts and fewer stitches per inch. So, again, I haven't really had a chance to go through these completely and see. There's a bunch of flowers in here that you could do like a whole Afghan. There's chickens, some different chickens if you're into chickens. So definitely, I mean, definitely a little dated, but things that you could still use as elements. I don't know. I'd like to show you that picture, but I can't really do it without showing you the chart. Hopefully you can get a gist of that. Wedding, anniversary, stuff like that. Hope that stack's not going to fall. Gifts to cross stitch. Again, same thing, a lot of graduation, some flowers, alphabets, sports, home decor. I'd rather be fishing. Some Christmas ornaments that are cute. You see some. And then Zweigart presents 12 Months of a Snowman. And autumn red work. And then cats and kittens, which is cute. So some of these, I'm going to go back through these in more detail. There's a couple of them that I don't know that I would ever use, and I will probably take to the freebie table at Barefoot to see if anybody else wants them. But it was, I mean, you know, for, I don't know, I spent 25 or 30 bucks and got a raffle ticket to unexpectedly win all of it. It was very nice. So, and there are definitely things in here that I will use and decorate with. I really like these sunflowers. I love sunflowers. So anyway, just wanted to put that in and show it because that was very nice for them to have kind of like the raffle gift for the event and everything. Calendar, combo of personal and crafting. We are going to Lake Lure area for Labor Day weekend. We have our big trip out west starting September 20th, which is when we're starting the Nature's Peace Stitch Along. I am doing the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat the first weekend in October. Going to SAF, the weekend of SAF in Asheville, and we'll probably be visiting Sassy Jack's. We might go over to Johnson City to Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I don't know if we'll make it all the way out to Waynesville to Annabella's, but, you know, we'll definitely hit 5 Monkeys, I'm sure, in Winterville. Excuse me. And then the weekend right before Veterans Day in November, I'm getting together at the beach with some crafty friends and stuff. So several things planned for the next couple of months, trips-wise, and that's about it. Shout outs, a couple of floss tubers I wanted to shout out just because I have been trying to mention the people that I watch. I'm very behind on FlossTube right now, so some of these I have watched recently. Others are just kind of on my list that I'm subscribed to and I haven't mentioned before, so I want to share with you. A new one to me that I have not had a chance to watch much, but I realized, so I'm a bad YouTuber. I just discovered the mentions tab. So you can, if you have a YouTube channel, you can see all your comments that you have not replied to in one place. And I didn't realize that on the same page, there's another tab that says mentions that shows you when somebody else tags you as a mention in their video. Which is how you find out if somebody mentions you, if they like tagged you in their description box and you haven't seen their video or you've never heard of them or whatever. Well, Vicky from Cat Mom Crafts Everything tagged me like 2 months ago. And I just noticed it. So I apologize to Vicky. I did watch the video that she tagged me in. I have not yet had a chance to go back and catch up with her because, like I said, she tagged me like 2 months ago. So I'm planning to go back and catch up with more of her. And so I also haven't had a chance to figure out exactly where she's from. She has what sounds like either an Australian or British, it sounds like not an American accent. Let's go with that because I may be totally off base. My first instinct was UK, but I'm not sure that's correct. But go give her a watch. Excuse me. Also, Stitch Brat Stew, Barb. I've been watching her. She does a lot of Carolyn Manning, a lot of the, what are they called? The Carolyn Manning, it's a lot of her patterns. It's the same with my September Sapphires is in the line. Shooting Star, I think maybe is the name of the collection. She's doing a lot of hers, and she's doing them, I think it's 32 count, she said, so that they will come out like 11 by 11, and she plans to make like pillows, like, pillows that could go on the couch or something out of them, which I think is a great idea if I had more room for pillows in my life. She does some other stuff too, and she just finished, Southern Land by Owl Forest Embroidery, which is something that I have not only the pattern for, but I have the Owl Forest Embroidery floss for, and it is beautiful. It's like blues and reds, and I really need to get that started. Cross Stitch the Globe, who I'm sure many of you already watch, Allison and Stephanie, who are sisters. I'm behind on some of their videos, but I did watch a shorter video they have put out. They're doing a Make It Murder Sal, and I probably am not going to participate, but I love the idea of it. Go watch that video, but basically they're saying take a pattern and modify it somewhat to make kind of like a murder scene, and apparently this idea came up, or not a murder scene necessarily, but a crime scene of some sort. They hosted a room in the summer stitch, whatever it was that Lindy Stitches did. I didn't participate in that, but like the summer version of the Jingle Ball, they hosted a room, and the idea somehow came up in the room when they were hosting. And I love the idea, and I can't wait to see the video of anybody that does it and see what people came up with. But I'm trying to be realistic about the likelihood of me getting it done. So I'm not going to participate, but I'm going to enjoy watching from the sidelines. And there's doing it, I think you can start whenever. There's an official start date of September something, then it runs through like the end of January or something before. And then sometime in February, they'll do like a Zoom call, I think, where everybody who participated can show their projects, and then they will record that call so they can put the video up on their channel. And then last but not least, another one that I've been watching is the Nerdy Stitcher, Enid. She tends to be a little bit more of a not completely monogamous, but she works a little bit more on a project until it's done, or only a couple of projects. Her videos also tend to be a little shorter if you're looking for quick bites that you can, like 20 minutes or so. So go check her out. And that's it for today. Hopefully, they're predicting another storm today. Hopefully, just kind of a late afternoon thunderstorm. Let's hope that the rest of hurricane season is not too bad. it is, like I said, it's the 17th. My 2 weeks from today will actually be Labor Day weekend, so I probably will not record then. I will probably come back to you sometime early September when I can do like a full August wrap up. Whether or not that will be Monday, September 1st, Labor Day, if we get back at a decent hour, or it might actually be the weekend after that. So it might be closer to 3 weeks before I come back this time, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're enjoying your stitching and your crafting or anything else you're doing, and I appreciate you watching me. If you would like, subscribe, and do all the fun things, I would appreciate it. And until next time, see y'all later. Bye, y'all.